There have been many infamous curses in the sports world, whether it be the Madden curse, the MVP curse, the Drake curse. However, out of all of these curses, there is one curse that has yet to be defeated, that stands alone as the most dangerous curse in all of sports. And this is the curse of the best record. Now, I'm sure most of you watching already know what this curse is. However, for those who do not know, let me break it down for you. This curse affects any team with the best record in their sport. They have a very successful regular season, a historic regular season, and yet they fail to win the championship in the long run. And this curse is so prominent, it not only occurs in one sport, but it occurs in all 5 major sports in the US. We've seen this happen in the NBA, the NFL, the MLS, the MLB, and the NHL. The best team in each sport's history has gone through this curse. And we will be breaking down each team one by one, and we'll be trying to figure out why this curse happens. Before we get into this video, I'd really appreciate it if you guys leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps with recommendations, and I work hard to make this content. And I thank everybody who supported the channel. Let's get back to the video. So let's get into why this curse actually happens. Now, obviously, there's no such thing as a legitimate curse. So why does it occur that all of these great teams fail to show up when it matters most? Well, there's a couple of reasons, but they're all pretty simple. For one thing, if a team has a really great record and they're entering the playoffs, they may become complacent or overconfident during their run. They won't be playing with as much motivation, and that may lead to the other team playing more aggressive than them. They may think that they can just glide through the postseason and successfully win the title without that extra effort, which every team does need in the postseason. Another reason for this could be the fact that these teams have an extraordinary amount of pressure to bring home the championship. They have such a great record, but it would mean nothing if they don't secure the prize at the end of the road. So that mentality can cause players a lot of mental pressure, which can lead to a lot of mistakes and big moments. One final factor that could easily be the cause of this curse is the fact that other teams going up against these powerhouses have extra motivation to overthrow them. If you're a team that snuck into the playoffs, can you imagine the amount of motivation that team has in going up against the best team in their league? No doubt they have this game circled on their calendar, and they'll be giving every ounce of their strength into this matchup. They have more to prove, and therefore a much higher motivation, and the effort they show in the game can sometimes be a lot higher. So as we look at the stat boxes, notice how the best team in the history of each of these 5 leagues did not end up winning the championship. You have the 2016 Warriors, who have the highest winning percentage as well as the most games won in an NBA season of all time, and they lost in the NBA championship game in 7 games against Cleveland. You have the 2007 Patriots, who everybody knows had the perfect 16-0 regular season, which was the best winning percentage of all time as well as the most games won, and they lost against the New York Giants in the Super Bowl. This curse also affects much older teams, as we see the 1906 Cubs, who had the best winning percentage as well as the most games won in a season, lose in the World Series that year. In the MLS, the Philadelphia Union had the best winning percentage of all time in 2022, but they lost the MLS Cup. However, a different team had the most wins in MLS regular season history, and that was the DC United in 1998, who also lost the MLS Cup. Similarly, in the NHL, there was a different team with the best winning percentage and the most games won in a season. The 1930 Bruins had the best winning percentage in NHL history, but they lost the finals. And the Detroit Red Wings in 1996 had the most games won in a season, and they lost the conference finals. So that is a total of 7 teams who hold either the best winning percentage or most wins in a season. And all 7 of these record-breaking teams did not win the finals. So as you can see, this curse is clearly in effect, as teams with the best record have an 0-7 success rate in winning the championship. So let's examine each one of these teams one by one. The 2007 Patriots. This team is widely regarded as having the best offense in NFL history, and along with that, they had a very good defense. Tom Brady was having a historic MVP year, as he was the first quarterback to throw for 50 passing touchdowns in a season, along with the help of his partner in crime, Randy Moss, who had what might be the best wide receiver season in NFL history. When you look at this team's scoring, weeks 1 through 8 is simply insane. The team scored 34 points or higher in every single one of those games, including a 52-point performance, 49-point performance, and a 48-point performance, all 3 weeks in succession. This offense was looking unstoppable, and following that, in Week 9, they went against the also undefeated Indianapolis Colts and won a tough battle against them. Returning from the bye week, they picked up right where they left off. As you can see, they beat Buffalo 56-10, a massacre. However, after Week 11, things started to change. As you can see, from weeks 12 to 17, the scores got much closer. Still comfortable wins that we see from New England. However, they weren't dominating the same way that they were earlier on in the season. And this would be the trend of this year. An extremely hot start, the best a football team has ever looked in NFL history. However, you could tell they were slowly running out of gas as the season progressed. They made it into the playoffs and won a comfortable game against Jacksonville, the conference championship game against San Diego, but then they made the Super Bowl, where the first time in that season they were held to less than 20 points and they were defeated by the underdog wildcard team, New York Giants, 17-14. This could have just been overall fatigue for dominating teams too long. Maybe a little bit of complacency considering Giants are one of the craziest underdogs to ever enter a Super Bowl. Whatever the case may be, the Patriots were only a helmet catch away from immortality. The 2016 Golden State Warriors. This Golden State Warriors team broke the NBA record for most wins in a season, finishing the season 73-9, an incredible record. This was largely helped by an insane 24-game win streak to start off the season, the best start any NBA team in history has had. They continue to put their foot on the gas, having a 59-9 record for the remainder of the regular season. Stephen Curry was playing at an all-time high level, winning the MVP that year, and drilling 5 3-pointers a game on average. They cruised through the first 2 series of the playoffs, winning both series in 5 games. However, they had a really big scare against the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals as they were in a 3-1 hole. But luckily, heroics throughout those remaining 3 games, including Klay Thompson going absolutely off in Game 6, the Warriors miraculously won the series in 7 and made it to the NBA Finals. They carried that momentum all the way up until Game 4, where they had a very comfortable 3-1 lead against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were in prime position to take the championship home after this historic regular season. However, history did not see it that way. LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and the rest of the Cleveland Cavaliers played some incredible basketball for the remaining 3 games, dethroning the Warriors and giving Cleveland their first ring. One large part of this, people may say, is Klay in the press conference throwing shade to LeBron. Klay Thompson was being a little bit complacent, and this might have motivated LeBron to play even crazier than he already has been in that finals. And after Klay said those words, there is no doubt that the series did flip on its head, so there easily might be some connotation between those 2 things. The 1906 Chicago Cubs. Now this team right here proves that this curse is timeless, as it's been affecting teams 120 years ago. This team was led by Hall of Fame players such as Mordecai Brown, Frank Chance, Johnny Evers, and the list goes on. This team absolutely dominated the regular season, obviously putting up the best record in MLB history, with 116 wins and only 36 losses and 3 ties. This team also went on 4 winning streaks this season that were 10 games or longer, including a 14-game winning streak closer to the end of the season. In the World Series, they were matched up against their Chicago counterpart, the White Sox. The series was tied 2-2 at a point, but then the White Sox continued to dominate throughout the final 2 games of the series, ending the 1906 Chicago Cubs' dream season. The 1996 Detroit Red Wings. The 96 Red Wings had a 62-13-7 season, the most wins ever in an NHL season. They had a very talented lineup, containing some legends like Sergei Fedorov, Steve Zerman, Paul Coffey, and Nicholas Lidstrom. They had the best defense in the league and a top 3 offense. They breezed through the regular season, however in the postseason they started to sputter. In the first round they won in 6 games against Winnipeg, but they had a close call against the St. Louis Blues in the second round, where they were down in the series 3-2 and won a nail-biting double overtime Game 7. They then made it to the Stanley Cup, where they were behind early against the Avalanche and they could never fully recover, as the Avalanche complete the upset, winning the series in 6. The 1930 Bruins. Now the Bruins had the best winning percentage in NHL history in 1930, boasting a record of 38-5-1. Led by players like Tiny Thompson, Cooney Wayland, and Dit Clapper, they cruised through the regular season, and in the postseason they won their first round against the Montreal Maroons 3-1. However, they came up short in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Montreal Canadiens, losing the series 2-0. The 1998 DC United. In '98, the United posted a 24-8 record, which is the most wins ever in an MLS season. They were on dial the entire regular season, even pulling off a 10-match win streak. However, all of this historic effort was in vain, as in the MLS Cup, they lost to the Chicago Fire 2-0. The 2022 Philadelphia Union. Now this team actually is from last year's MLS season, so a very recent team. They have the best winning percentage season in MLS history, with a record of 19 wins and 5 losses, with 10 draws. They had a very comfortable regular season, obviously, and they won the conference semifinals against Cincinnati 1-0, the conference finals to New York City 3-1. But this historic run came to an end just like all the other seasons that we've discussed, as in the MLS Cup they lost in the thrilling 3-3 match against Los Angeles FC, where they lost in the shootout 3-0. So all 7 of these historically good teams who owned either the most wins in a season or the best winning percentage all came up short from winning the final prize of the championship. However, there is one more team that is in contention and could possibly break this curse, and that is this year's 2022-2023 Boston Bruins. At the time of making this video, the Bruins have a 49-8-5 record, so if they were to continue on this pace, then they will end the season with the most wins in an NHL season, overlapping the Detroit Red Wings from 1996. Along with this, if the Bruins have an astronomically successful rest of the season, and by that I mean only 1 or 2 losses tops, then they could also break their own record of their 1930 winning percentage. So I definitely think that the Bruins are going to get the most wins in NHL history when this season is all said and done. I don't think that they'll beat the 1930s Bruins team as far as winning percentage goes, because that winning percentage is just incredible. However, with the most wins, they would have a chance to break this curse once and for all. Can a team who finally owns leadership in some winning category win the championship? Only time will tell, and in a couple months' time, I'll definitely revisit this video concept to see if the Bruins are added to this list of cursed teams or if they finally break the curse. Thank you everybody so much for watching this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. This was really interesting and fun for me to talk about these teams. It was kind of fun to take a look back and see what the most successful seasons for teams were and how all of them did not even result in a single championship. Comment down below, do you think that the Bruins will break this streak, or will they end up like all the other 7 teams in this video? If you guys do enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and also make sure to comment any other video suggestions, any ranking videos, discussions. You put it down in the comment section because I love to make your video suggestions. With all that out of the way, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next Heaps video.